All right, UFC 314, Alexander Volkanovski versus Diego Lopez just took place. I'm here to give you my card breakdown of the entire event. This was a fantastic card. There was finishes in pretty much every single fight, to be honest. I think there was maybe 2 decisions in this whole fight. Hey, we stay positive, baby. You know, and quick disclaimer, I don't bet on most of these fights. I did a little bit of gambling here, you know, maybe lost $5. It is what it is. But yeah, I do this all based off passion and love for the sport. I've been watching the sport consistently for 3 years. I've watched top to bottom almost every single event in those 3 years. Actually, probably every single event within those past 3 years. Now, with that being said, let's get into the card breakdown, baby. All right. Man, this card was actually fucking amazing. Anyways, Trayshawn... Wait, was that really the first one? Why am I... Right. The women's fight. Alright, so, this fight sucked. It's just another women's fight at the end of the day. You know how it goes. You know how it be. Yeah, it's just shit. I guess Haley Cowan, you know, she had a great round 1. And then in round 2, she gave up back. And then... Or cannoli, whatever the fuck her name is, cornroll, what, I don't give a fuck. If you don't know how I do things around here for the women's fight, hey, we pick the coin, baby. Heads or tails for them bad boys, but the coin actually went 1-1, so whatever my record would be with my base picks that I do completely organically, wouldn't have changed it. Oh, wouldn't have changed my record. Still positive. So, you know, we take it. So, yeah, this women's fight didn't get right. The coin failed us. It is what it is. But, you know, it redeemed itself later on. Moving on. Tresean Gore versus Marco Tulio. I went Tresean Gore. I thought Tresean Gore was probably going to implement some grappling here. So he decided not to do any of the grappling and try to get a KO shot on Tulio here. Biggest takeaway you can get from this fight. Tresean Gore is a little tougher than his background would suggest. And Marco Tulio is a lot weaker than his background would suggest, I guess we should say. Yeah, Marco Tulio looks chinny as fuck. He's got good combos, and he's got good power, but it's almost like there's something missing there, like the technique, maybe. You know, like Gastag seems okay. It's just like sometimes he's just throwing kicks at weird angles that aren't really gonna hit anyone, but yeah. Yeah, sucks for Tresean Gore, but he kind of got whooped, to be fair. Yeah, you're not shooting takedowns after losing round 1 like that. Yeah. Anyways, pretty excited to see Marco Tulio, to be honest, but I don't think he gets very far. Middleweight is shit, but like, he's not passing the Jack Hermanson test, is what I'm seeing, you know? Anyways, moving on. Sue Mederdi versus Mitch Raposo. I know a lot of people are very high on Mitch Raposo throughout the whole week. I went with Sue Mederdi. I thought he was going to be a big underdog because he was like 0-3 or something in his last... Maybe he was 0-4. He was on like a crazy losing streak. But yeah, Sue was just... Some people, I think, were calling her robbery. Like, Mitch Raposo, what are we doing, brother? Like, we're just shooting takedowns and doing nothing with it, you know? You had, like, 10 or, like, it was, like, 15 takedown stuffed or something like that. Oh, my God. 19. Jesus Christ. Yeah, Sue stuffed, like, a good majority of the takedowns, and whenever he did get taken down, he just got back to the fence. He got back up. Anti-grappling, but Mitch did nothing with the takedowns, like literally nothing. No hammer fists, no punching, no elbow off the break. I think the very first one he got, Sue against the cage, he went for like a hook off the break, like a left fucking hook right off the break, but after that he just decided not to. You know, round 1 I think was Mitch, round 2 I thought was clear Sue, and round 3 was slightly less clear for Sue, but I still think he got it, even if Mitch Raposo had, like, those takedowns and everything. They just don't mean anything when, like, they shouldn't mean anything. You know what I mean? Like, they don't mean anything when you just pick up someone, drop them, and they just get to their feet and nothing happens other than you picking them up and dropping them. You know what I mean? Like, do something, you know? Like, that's not how you finish a fight. Just picking up someone and dunking them and doing nothing with it. Anyways, yeah, I got that one right. Anyways, moving on. Cedric Dumas versus McCall Olenjaychuk. I went with Cedric. I respected McCall's striking prowess. However, I did not expect his bicep to be so powerful. If you know, you know. Yeah, basically, Cedric got wobbled by the bicep of McCall while McCall was going for like a really wide hook. The bicep caught Cedric, dropped Cedric, and then Cedric, like, I get it. He might not have been hurt, and he crumpled to the ground and kind of just shelled up. But, like, brother, you have to throw back. After, like, 10 strikes of just someone wailing on you, the odds of the ref stepping in are pretty high. But it is just, like, you gotta throw back. Like, an up kick, butterfly, push them, like, feet to hips, push them off you. You know what I mean? Like, Cedric was just doing nothing except for covering up, and McCall got it done. I'm happy for McCall. I did pick Cedric. I thought Cedric was a little better than I thought. Might not be better than I thought. So, yeah. But yeah, good for McCall. Great win for McCall. He gets to keep his job. You know, I'm happy for McCall. Not a lot of Polish powers in the UFC, but yeah, McCall can be something. I mean, he's still young, to be fair. He's got a crazy amount of fights in the UFC. He's, you know, I think he's 30. It's not going to show me here. Yeah, I think he's like 30. So, still young. Still got time in the game, you know. So, happy for McCall. And yeah, we move on to the prelims. Darren Elkins versus Julian Erosa. I'm going to be honest. I mean, I went with Julian Erosa. I did not think he was like he was something crazy, like a minus 500. I thought that was a little disrespectful to Darren Elkins on a 2-fight winning streak, 3-fight winning streak. Nah, 2-fight winning streak. This fight literally looked like it was slow motion. I felt like everyone felt like that. It literally felt like I was watching this shit at 0.5 speed on YouTube. Like, I don't understand. And I completely watch on a legal stream, but I don't understand why it was like that. And Darren was getting, like, for the damage, he kind of just stood there and took all the damage, you know? Like, the one thing that Erosa's weak to is just a heavy overhand. Like, Josh Emmett is fucking Julian Erosa's nightmare, let me tell you. But Julian's got great grappling. If the Darren Elkins that showed up for this fight was in his last fight, Daniel Pineda would have whooped his ass. I don't know what happened. Like, Darren Elkins went through like a time machine or something and he became 80 years old. Like, I just don't know what happened, you know? Like, he just looked like shit out there. I didn't pick him or anything, but I know like a lot of people were thinking about picking Darren Elkins. Shout out to all the people who do breakdowns on UFC cards, you know, like the We Want Picks' MMA gurus, you know who I'm talking about. But anyways, yeah, Julian Erosa gets it done round 1. It was kind of like a pity KO. Darren just kept on hugging the foot of Erosa, and Erosa was just like staring at him, landing a strike maybe once every 15 seconds, and then the ref was finally just like, oh my god, he's beating up Unk right now, you know, and stepped in, stopped the fight. Kind of sad to see, to be honest, but it is what it is. Erosa gets it done. Erosa's got good grappling, but like, man, these guys looked like shit in this fight. Hoping it doesn't happen again, but it is what it is. Moving on to the true Unk of the UFC. Jim fucking Miller versus Chase Hooper. I went with Chase Hooper. I thought people were going to chase finishes so much on this fight. I think I predicted Chase Hooper by sub, but I literally said it in my breakdown. Kind of got it right. Just saying. I was like the only one picking, or only one giving Jim Miller any sort of fucking credit. I thought those plus 500 odds were absolutely insane, but yeah. I think he even won round 1, didn't he? Maybe not. Maybe he didn't win round 1. I thought like one of the rounds were pretty close, but yeah, Chase Hooper won it. It was pretty dominant, to be fair, but like, I was kind of like correct. I did say Jim Miller, I thought like was the better striker, even though I get it, he's like 49 years old, you know what I mean? I think he's actually 41 or 40, one of the two. But regardless, yeah, even though he's so old, like, he's still good and experienced and tough as shit, you know? He knows what to do when he's put in bad situations, you know? And that was that's what he really showcased in this fight. I gave Jim Miller a lot more credit than I think a lot of people did. And I think this was about roughly how I thought the fight was going to go. Yeah, Chase Hooper got it done pretty dominantly. Got that pick right. Moving on, Yan Xiaonan versus Verna Jandiroba. Yeah. The coin got it right. Picked Verna. Don't care. I literally don't care this fight. Women's fight just suck. I literally just don't care. Moving on, Dan Ige versus Sean Woodson. This is the worst robbery. I think this is probably the worst stoppage in UFC history. If not, it might be the worst stoppage in, like, combat sport history. Sean Woodson, I get it, got wobbled in the third. Also, the scorecards are bullshit. We'll get into that. Sean Woodson, I thought, got wobbled in the third. Like, I thought that was pretty clear. But he backed up, and for like a minute, he was like getting his headspace and everything. Dan Ige was getting closer. Sean Woodson started to get back in his flow state. Shot like a really lazy takedown. And then Dan Ige was like hammer fisting. But Sean Woodson, he like put out his hand so that he could lift his xenomorphic ass up. If you know what I mean? Like, no offense to Sean Woodson, guy does look like a fucking xenomorph. Or an exomorph, whatever that's called, from Alien Romulus. Literally looks directly out of that. You know? And the memes about Sean Woodson were pretty funny, I'm not gonna lie, but I don't want to dog on the man too hard. You know, what can I say? Metro Man, he just got it done. No, I'm joking. But yeah, Sean Woodson was doing really good. He got clipped. And then he shot like a slow takedown, but it wasn't like he got hurt or anything going for the takedown. Dan Ige went for a bunch of hammer fists. And this ref stopped the fight, even though Sean Woodson is stood up, not stood up, but you know, like, sort of looking down, like bent down, almost like you're stretching for your legs. And then he puts his hand out for a base to then lift himself back up because he's so fucking tall. And the ref just stops the fight as he's lifting his head. Also, very important to note, I have insider intel on a few fighters from different organizations. This ref is known for shitty stoppages in a bunch of different organizations. I'm trying to remember his name real quick. Let me just look at the report here. His name is Andrew Glenn. Fuck this dude, bro. On G, fuck this dude. All right, this guy's known for his early stoppages. Whenever he sees someone stumble or wobbled, you could tell he was licking his lips when like Woodson got caught. But like, man, like, I get it, he got caught, but like literally almost a minute afterwards, he's fine. Also, the scorecards, absolute donkey bullshit. I don't understand. Like, the strikes are going to be close. Dan Ige landed, I think, at least 20 to 30 of these strikes in the final round. Sean Woodson was outlanding completely throughout the whole fight. Round 1 and round 2, I thought were pretty clear Sean Woodson. There's an argument for round 1 to be swayed. I thought round 2 was clear Sean Woodson. I don't understand how anyone would have scored it for Sean Woodson. Maybe I have, like, bias glasses on or something. A little crazy that Dan Ige was up on scorecards on all 3 judges, might I add. Little sus, but yeah, anyways. Yeah, I thought that fight was bullshit. I would have been way better on my picks, but it is what it is. I stay positive. Moving on, main card. Nikita Krylov versus Dominic Reyes. This is the only one... Actually, no. This is the first fight I got wrong on the main card. Krylov versus Dominic Reyes. I picked Krylov just because Dominic Reyes is very chinny. He is very chinny, and I'm really worried about his future, but man, did he sleep Krylov. That sleep was so fucking good, too. Little Jose Aldo, Conor McGregor-ish. Sick-ass KO. Loved it. Great from Dominic Reyes. You know, people forget, man, he beat John Jones 3-2, arguably 4-1. Just saying. You know I didn't watch that fight live, but you can see in replays, you can look at the numbers, you can look at fucking damage in every round. Just saying, right? John Jones, Copers. Anyways, people forget, man, Dominic Reyes did whoop his ass. You know, I didn't think Krylov was going to get slept. I get it, he was out for a while, but he's younger, reach advantage, you know what I mean? Like, he's not getting fucking KO'd coming off a 3 winning streak, you know what I mean? beat Ryan Spann, and then, you know, you have Dominic Reyes losing to Ryan Spann. MMA math. Pretty much all the flags were pointing to Krylov other than the layoff. But, you know, he did change his flag. I'm not political. I don't give a fuck about politics. But maybe that's karma. Who knows? Yeah, anyways. Great for Dominic Reyes. Actually sick for Dominic Reyes. Sucks for Krylov. Krylov is sick, though. So I'll be excited to see him compete again, because it's not like they're going to cut him off one loss, I guess. But yeah, Dominic Reyes, I think give him Jan Blachowicz. Or like an Ozdemir, but I think he already fought Ozdemir. I could be wrong on that. Or like, yeah, I don't know. Can't really do much with Dominic Reyes, to be honest. The Khalil Roundtree, Jamal Hill loser, that'd be an interesting one. But Reyes, I know he slumped out Krylov cold, but he is still chinny, in my opinion. Anyways, moving on. Bryce Mitchell versus Gene Silva. I'm just gonna say it. Gene Silva's the main character of fucking featherweight. It is what it is, you know. Man, Bryce Mitchell. Wow. You know, I know a lot of people are very high on Bryce Mitchell, and I get why. People forget, man. Charles Jourdain, he's the pride of Canada right now. You know, just saying. All right, he's the best prospect we got, guys. All right, fuck you, Mike Malott. Americans, you can have him. He was raised in America. Not my problem anymore. Fuck Mike Malott. Thank you, Ronin MMA, for clearing that up. Anyways. Yeah, Bryce Mitchell. Like, I get why you would go Bryce Mitchell. He is good on the ground, and he did a lot better on the striking than I thought he would. But Gene Silva just has aura. He's the main character. He's got a pretty decent chin on him from this fight. You know, Bryce Mitchell knocked down Edson Barbosa. Gene Silva was eating shots. The submission, though, was crazy. I was not expecting Gene Silva to get a fucking... What is that? Like a reverse Darce or some shit? I don't even know what it was, but definitely slumped Bryce Mitchell out, even though Bryce Mitchell tapped. It was... Wow, the squeeze on Gene Silva. Gene Silva's a dense dude. Did miss weight, to be fair. I know he made it afterwards. But, you know, maybe that has something to do with it. But, yeah, Gene Silva fucking... I'm not going to say dog walked Bryce Mitchell, but sick. It was a sick fight, to be fair. You know, round 1, you could probably go Bryce. Round 2, Gene Silva just put a whooping on Bryce. You know, absolutely whooped him for the 3 minutes and 52 seconds. That was round 2. So, yeah, sick to see Gene Silva win. Gene Silva probably gets like a much higher ranked opponent now. Hey, maybe he's the new featherweight king after what happened in the main event. Moving on, Yair Rodriguez, Patrice Pitbull. I'm just going to say it. Yair sucks. I picked Yair. I also picked Gene Silva, by the way. Yeah, Yair sucks. I don't know why people... I get why people like him, but, like... Yeah, he just does fucking suck. He's either gonna fluke, like, a KO, or you have to stand in front of him and do nothing. Josh Emmett, Patrice Pitbull, makes sense. You know what I mean? Didn't watch anything of Patrice Pitbull, but, yeah, he just gets fraud checked, I guess. You know, first Bellator fighter to lose, I'm pretty sure, coming off a debut. No, maybe not the first, but that was the trend. All Bellator fighters had plot armor. Now they don't. You know, a lot of people were pretty high on Patrice, I think. But yeah, Yair gets it done very boringly. Dropped him in the third. Low IQ moments in the third. He, like, engaged with the 50-50 position with the feet. Going for, like, an ankle lock. Calves. Like, Bro, this guy Yair sucks. I don't care. Anyone in featherweight beats him. Any actual featherweight beats him. That's what I'm convinced. Moving on. Michael Chandler versus Paddy Pimblett. I had Paddy. I had Paddy by finish, I'm pretty sure. I could have seen a decision. Yeah, Michael Chandler just doesn't have it. Like, he's 38. Paddy Pimblett's got one hell of a chin. You know, only the great Jared Gordon can beat Paddy Pimblett. And I don't care what anyone says, because I know Guru is starting to promote a different narrative about that fight. Oh, well, his foot broke in round 1. That doesn't matter. He still lost the fight bell to bell. Like, he did lose for those 15 minutes. Yeah, Jared Gordon did beat Paddy Pimblett. So if I was Jared Gordon, I'd be fucking in tears right now, being like, man, I beat that star, you know? But yeah, he did just whoop Michael Chandler. Like, bell to bell. I think I give Patty every round. I can't remember much of round 2, but round 3, Michael Chandler got fucked up. Flying knee, wobbled Chandler, opened a cut, and then you had Patty Pimblett throwing fucking head kicks. Bro, he's a big dude in there, you know? This looked like, man, I can't believe Chandler's like a lightweight after seeing that. Like, it's almost like all his weight goes into his midsection. You know, like it looked like his abs were about to just explode. But yeah, Patty Pimblett got it done. Whooped Chandler bell to bell. Was not expecting that, to be fair. And yeah, bloodied his face. TKO'd him in round 3 after getting a top position, full mount. Really good IQ from Patty Pimblett, you know, and he seemed very serious about this. Maybe this is a new mythical fighter, serious Patty Pimblett. But yeah, interesting matchups to make now. You know, you could do the Hanato Moicano, you could do the DP, you could do the Justin Gaethje. Interesting fights to make now. And now it's like, I don't know if Patty loses to them. You know, so I'm interested to see what happens. Good for Patty Pimblett. The only fight I think I've picked Patty to win. And he gets it done by KO. We'll take it. You know, we'll take it. Anyways, moving on to the main event. I picked Diego Lopez by KO. I'm just going to say it out the bat. And I picked it in round 2. And to be fair, he almost got the KO. He did like switch off Volkanovski, but he got right back up, recovered well. I did think Diego Lopez won 1 round, but I thought it was 4-1 Volk. I'll say that right now. Yeah, Volk just peppered him with the jab and kept on moving. A little Yusuf Zalal Calvin Kattar performance. Only if Calvin Kattar had nukes in his hands. And an iron fucking chin. Alright, Diego Lopez, I get his game plan, and his team, I'm pretty sure, told him it was, I want to say his team told him it was 2-1 after the first 3. L team, gonna be honest, but yeah, Lopez definitely seemed like he had a game plan to go all 5. It's not what you needed, man. You know, this is the problem with like some of these dangerous strikers. Lopez, O'Malley, sometimes when they're against like decision merchants, like Merab, like Volkanovski, they kind of tend to be like, I need to prepare for 5 rounds. Don't. Put it all out in the first 2 or 3, and then if you lose by decision, you lose by decision. You know what I mean? Like, your goal is to get in there and throw bombs and knock out the guys that are chinny. You know, it's almost exactly like that. This was very much like O'Malley versus Merab, only if Merab was more of a striker than a grappler. And that's pretty much how this fight was. You know, and like Lopez landed pretty good shots. To be fair, there were times where Volk got hit clean on the chin. And I was just like, how the fuck did he survive that? How good is Ilya Taporia, guys? You know, 3-month turnaround, guys. Obviously a fluke. No, Ilya did win. Weight bully. You know, that means, technically speaking, Alexander Volkanovski has not lost to a featherweight active on the roster. Just saying, guys. Volkanovski's back. He's the king. Let's go away, you know? And, always stand up for yourself. I'm from the land down under, you know? Yeah, Volk got it done, you know? It was a sick performance, to be fair. Round 5, Lopez kept on egging him on, but to be fair, man, it is just like Lopez. Like, where was this in the first 4? Like, I get it. You want to pace yourself just in case it goes all 5, but, like, hunt for the blood, you know? Smell the blood, get in there, you know what I mean? And Volk still backs up with his chin up, you know? So I think Evloev is next. If Evloev is actually next, buddy, Volk's whooping ass, alright? Volk might actually go on to be the best featherweight of all time, now that he's reclaimed the belt. Because you got Evloev, like, maybe Gene Silva after 2 more wins, and then, I don't even know. Yeah, I don't even know. But yeah, regardless, this, I think, was best case scenario. I didn't have to watch Volk get KO'd. And I got to see Lopez go all 5. Lopez still one of my favorite fighters. He'll sit down and fucking bang it out with anyone. Got an iron of a chin. Great grappler. Smokes Evloev in the rematch. That's what I saw, alright? Evloev ain't ready for Lopez, okay? So, yeah. that was my breakdown. A little bit of a quick one. It is late at night, and I got work in the morning, so it is what it is. Hey. Ugh. Employed brethren, stand up. That's what I'm saying. But yeah, if you made it all the way to the end of this video, I want to thank you for watching. And as always, I hope you have a line check. Ooh, a good day.